Derelict house, the night in the abandoned village. When Iyer agreed to the new job, he had no idea what he was getting into. After months of unemployment, he was offered a position as a night guard of an abandoned village that sat on the edge of a dense, dark forest. People used to live here, but 10 years ago they left almost overnight. The official reasons were economic decline and lack of infrastructure. But the locals whispered something else. They said something lived in the forest. Something that didn't like when people stayed there after sunset. Iyer didn't believe such stories. He needed the money, and the pay was good. So when the employer showed him a photo of a small guard cabin near an old dirt road, Iyer just nodded and signed the contract. New moon the first night. He arrived in the evening, just as the sun was touching the treetops. The village was empty, crooked houses, broken windows, gardens swallowed by weeds. Everything looked frozen in time. His job was simple: patrol the area and occasionally walk through the village with a flashlight. Easy. Or so he thought. At 11:20 p.m., Iyer sat in the cabin sipping tea. The wind shook the trees, and somewhere far away he thought he heard rustling. Nothing unusual, the forest was alive at night. Then suddenly, the radio crackled. And went silent. Iyer frowned. He was alone. No one was supposed to contact him. He grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. The night was pitch black, only a slow creeping mist drifting between the houses. The air felt colder. Footsteps in the grass. Iyer was walking along the central path when he heard footsteps behind him. He spun around, nothing. Probably a fox, he muttered. But the footsteps echoed again. Closer this time. He pointed the flashlight toward an old barn. The beam slid across the wall, and he saw a shadow that vanished instantly. "Hey! Who's there?" he shouted. No reply, only a faint laugh. A laugh. A shiver ran down his spine. Derelict house, the house on the hill. The laughter seemed to come from a house on the hill. The only building in the village that still stood somewhat straight. Locals once said it was the last house people left before abandoning the village. Iyer climbed the hill, gripping the flashlight tightly. The door was slightly open. He was certain it had been closed earlier. He pushed it open. The smell inside was a mix of mold, old wood, and something metallic. Like blood. "Is anyone here?" Iyer called. Silence. He stepped into the living room. On the dusty floor lay children's toys, too clean for an abandoned house. His flashlight flickered. Darkness swallowed the room for a second. When the light returned, Iyer felt he wasn't alone. Candle the candlelight. From the second floor suddenly appeared a dim glow. As if someone had lit a candle. Iyer froze. Someone was in the house. He slowly climbed the stairs. With every step, the wood groaned beneath him as if warning him to turn back. The candlelight was coming from the last room. He peeked inside, and froze in place. A little girl was sitting on the floor. Pale. Long dark hair. Her eyes were fixed directly on him. But the worst part? She cast no shadow. "WH, who are you?" he whispered. "You came too late," the girl said in an unnatural, adult voice. "They're already awake." The candle went out. Evergreen tree, they. The house plunged into complete darkness. Iyer felt something cold touch his hand. He jumped back and ran down the stairs. Behind him he heard footsteps, many footsteps, like something running on both hands and feet. Bursting outside, he turned to the house, and saw silhouettes in the windows. Dozens of them. All standing still, watching him. Some hung upside down from the ceiling like spiders. Iyer sprinted toward the guard cabin, but when he reached it, the lights inside were already on. And he was certain he had turned them off. Radio voices in the radio. A soft whisper leaked from the cabin. He picked up the radio. A distorted chorus spoke through the static. "You shouldn't have come, Iyer. You shouldn't have entered their house. You are one of us now." Iyer dropped the radio. His heart was pounding so hard he could barely think. He ran toward the central road, but the forest ahead changed. The trees grew closer together, impossibly quickly, as if growing before his eyes. The road disappeared. Only black, endless branches. And then he saw them. The same creatures from the house. They emerged from the forest shadows, bending, cracking their limbs to move faster. Each had the face of someone who once lived in the village. And behind them stood the girl with the candle. "No one leaves the village," she whispered. "You belong here forever." The world went black. The next morning, a new team arrived to relieve the night guard. The cabin was empty. No signs of struggle, only Iyer's flashlight lying in the middle of the path. And inside one of the